Hello creeps, Andy here, and today is my birthday. Not today as in the day I'm filming this, but today as in the day St. Patrick's Day is my birthday. And for my birthday this year, I wanted to watch birthday horror movies that I had not seen before and talk about them. So I watched a few of them. I'm going to give you the plot of each of them and then rank them. Again, these are movies that I haven't seen before, so like Happy Death Day isn't in here or anything like that, or Friday the 13th, which I still maintain is a birthday movie. My husband has been fighting me on this all week, but I'm like, no, she's going to avenge her son's death on his birthday. Jason was my son, and today was his birthday. That's a birthday movie if I ever heard one. Correct me if I'm wrong. Actually don't, because I won't believe you. Let's get, hold on. This isn't right. Oh. Come on. Are we ready to party or what? This is being 30. Anyways, so here are the birthday horror movies that I watched recently. Let me grab my phone. Also, my husband got the cutest birthday decorations. They're not hanging up yet, but I'll post a picture on like Instagram or something so you can see them. But he went all out. So, okay, let's start. Oddly enough, a lot of these, 3 out of 4 of these came out in 1981. Why were there so many happy birthday horror movie releases in 1981? A little weird. Wouldn't that be weird if that was the year I was born? That'd be super weird. It's not, but yeah, okay. So the first movie that I want to talk about, my head isn't cut off, is it? The first movie that I watched this year, so I'm going to talk about them in order of which I watched them, and at the end we'll do a little recap. So the first one is called Alison's Birthday. This is a 1981 horror film, and this movie is on Shudder. So if you guys want to watch it, check it out on Shudder. It is an Australian horror film. It's about, well, a girl named Alison and her friends. They play Ouija board on her 16th birthday, but it's not really a Ouija board. They just set up letters around a table, and then they use like a cup as a planchette. It's pretty innovative. But anyways, what happens is one of her friends gets possessed by the ghost of her father and tells her to not go home for her 19th birthday. She warns Alison. So you're thinking, okay, this is gonna be like a creepy Ouija board movie. But oh no, it is not. It is so much more than that. After this happens, she's not planning to go home, so now we're up a few years. She's almost at her 19th birthday, and she's not planning on going home. So her parents died in a tragic accident when she was a baby, and her aunt and uncle raised her, but she finds out that her uncle is deathly ill and that he will not make it that much longer. So her aunt's like, please come home for your birthday, it would mean so much to him. And she's like, well, I can't, I mean, these are the people that raised me. So she's very apprehensive to go, and her boyfriend says, okay, well, I'll go along with you and we'll figure it out. So they do end up going together. He accompanies her. They're both kind of nervous because it gets a little weird. First of all, they warn her not to go in the backyard, which I guess they always had since she was little, but she's like, you know what, I'm gonna go back there. And there's like a Stonehenge back there, like a mini one. And there's also just like weird things that are happening. She's having really bad dreams. She starts getting health issues. It's very evident that her aunt and uncle do not want the boyfriend around to celebrate her birthday. Just kind of weird things going on. And then there's like this 3,000-year-old grandma. She's old as hell. And she like creepily comes into her room in the middle of the night. Like that. Oh, that's all about that. But still, it's creepy. This definitely reminded me of a Rosemary's Baby type movie. So it has the same feel for sure. Like you don't know who to trust. Your loved ones are keeping something from you. She wears like a pendant around her neck. There's an aunt that gives her potions that like help her sleep and stuff, and there's cults and doctors involved and all sorts of stuff. Like I wrote here, Australian Rosemary's Baby. That's exactly how it feels. So I think if you like Rosemary's Baby, you'll love this movie. The thing is, it's a bit slow paced like Rosemary's Baby is. You know how that movie's not exactly action packed, but it's still entertaining throughout? That's how I felt about this one. I read a lot of the complaints online were like, oh, it moves too slowly, they should have cut stuff out. But I think most of the scenes were pretty important to the movie. I think it just wasn't as fast-paced. But that being said, if you're... Oh, this is awkward. My neighbor's just watching me film a video. That's okay. The ending is so fun. It also reminded me of a Rosemary's Baby type ending. It brought everything full circle without wrapping everything up in like a nice little bow. It was just such a good movie. I was not expecting this at all. I thought it was a Ouija board gone wrong. And it's so much more than that. I gave this one a 5 out of 5 birthday cakes. I'm rating them out of birthday cakes. Bloody birthday cakes. I highly recommend if you're a fan of like slower paced movies and you like Rosemary's Baby, I think you'll really like this one. Next up, Stitches. This is a 2011 horror movie. This is on Shudder, and this is made by an Irish director. I think they say it's a British-Irish horror film. This one is about a clown, a very horrible, shitty clown. He goes to this specific birthday party and the kids are just not having it. They're kind of messing around with him, and there's a horrible accident and he ends up biting the dust. So this one it's definitely more of a comedy, but it's not a dark comedy. It's like a slapstick comedy. Like, for example, when the clown's driving to the birthday party, he's like smoking a cigarette and driving the car with his feet. Like, it's just like a silly movie. One of the best lines, he walks in and the mom goes, "You're late." And then the clown goes, "And you're fucking ugly." So it is funny. It did make me laugh, but I'm not particularly fond of like slapstick comedy type movies. They're just not really for me. I much prefer like dark comedies. Movies like this, they just aren't like my favorite type of genre. That being said though, really fun movie. So the clown is accidentally killed, like I said, at the people's birthday party. And there's a scene where like the little kid whose birthday it is, the clown's wounds rain blood on him for like 20 seconds. And so he grows up traumatized, as anybody would, and he has like kind of hallucinations of clowns everywhere he goes. Because of this, he's kind of avoided birthday parties, but he's kind of influenced to have a birthday party this year. He invites everybody over, and the clown rises from the grave to seek his revenge. And why, you may ask? Well, simple. Because the guy's invitation to his birthday party lands on his grave. It's a silly movie, but it is really well written. I thought it was like gonna be a bad, poorly written B horror film, but it's really not like that. It's more of like an original, extremely well written movie, but it's just, you know, a lot of blood with some silliness in there. There are some really cool original scenes, and it is quite bloody. The CGI is like, okay, but then there are practical effects where you're like, okay. It does take about 45 minutes before like the bloody stuff to kick back in, but I think there's quite a bit of character development in there, which I wasn't expecting and I actually really did enjoy. The clown comes back and seeks revenge kind of in the same way that the kids bullied him when he was a clown.
Really quickly, I forgot to tell you the entire reasoning why he comes back from the dead, and that is because, and I quote, "A clown that doesn't finish a party can never rest in peace."
It's a cool movie, it's well written, it's fun. I gave it a 3 out of 5, only because it's not really like my genre of horror. I would watch it again, but I don't think it's a movie that I'll have to watch every year on my birthday. The next movie that I watched was called Happy Birthday to Me. This is, again, another 1981 film. This was not on any streaming services, so I did have to rent it. So this is about top 10 students at a university who are all hanging out together. They're all kind of best friends, but they start disappearing one by one. Dun, dun, dun. We go into this girl's story where she's like the new one on the scene, but she actually lived in the town before. Her and her mom had an accident, and they explain it like she's basically a science experiment. And the way they explain it was that, you know how a salamander's tail grows back? Well, they did that with her brain tissue. This one has a slow start for sure. So we know her mother passes away in the accident and she doesn't remember what happened, and things start slowly coming back to her. It's like a horror mystery because you're trying to figure out who is killing all the other of the 10 top students. You don't just see them disappear, you actually see them being killed off. The bloody scenes aren't really shown. Like, the kills are really original, but it's like an early 80s horror film where, like, you know, you show the knife going like this and then the scene cuts and then you see the body falling. You know what I mean? Like, it's not extremely gruesome, but the kills are really original. For example, and if you even search the name of this will pop up, so it's not like I'm giving anything away, but there's one who gets like a skewer in the back of the throat, which is it's just bloody good fun. But here's the thing. All the characters in this movie are creepy and weird. They like break into each other's houses and play weird pranks on each other, especially considering that all of their friends are gone missing and nobody seems to really care what's going on. Like, I get the need for a red herring, but man, some of the scenes I was like, what is happening? So it's definitely not the best written movie for sure. There's also one scene where it shows a car landing in water, and it shows it landing upside down, but then it shows it again. You know how they do like explosions from different angles or whatever? They show it landing upside down, and then they show it landing right side up again, and I'm like, what is happening? So there are some silly things like that. It reminded me of April Fool's Day, but It wasn't as well written. I feel like it's like a same feel but not as good as April Fool's Day. That being said though, I was raised watching that movie. I love April Fool's Day, so maybe I would feel the same about this movie had I watched it earlier on in life, but it's definitely not like a nostalgic movie. This was the first time that I'd seen it. There is a fun twist at the end, but even the twist is like, it's a little silly, but it's fun. I did really enjoy it, and I do think it's one that I will come back and visit. I gave this one a 3.5 out of 5, but there is a birthday scene at the end where somebody is carrying in a birthday cake and creepily singing, "Happy birthday." I'm not going to give you anything away in case you guys haven't seen it. Honestly, I think the whole movie was worth watching for that scene. Awesome. Awesome, fantastic, awesome birthday scene. I will definitely revisit that scene every year on my birthday. So the fourth movie that I watched was called Bloody Birthday. This again is from 1981, and this is not on any streaming services now. It was a while ago though, which sucks, but I had to rent this one. So this is about 3 kids born on the same day during a strange eclipse. Well, it was just an eclipse, it wasn't strange. But the movie starts, okay, this has nothing to do with the plot of the movie, but I have to tell you this because what the hell? So there are these 2 like teenage kids, they're fooling around in a cemetery, as one does. The girl's like, what if someone sees us? And the boy's like, I know where we can go where no one will see us. And I'm thinking like, okay, the mausoleum or in a car or something. He brings her to an open grave, a dug out grave, and brings her, and then they, what? That's not normal. Like, I'm into spooky stuff and that's weird. So the kids, I believe it's their 10th birthday or around there, those 3 kids end up going on a rampage and killing a bunch of people around the time of their birthday. So they have this like burn book of victims where they kill or want to kill people, and they put their pictures in this book. This movie, I'm telling you, just like highlights the oddness of the 80s. Like the 80s must have been a crazy time. There's a sheriff there that has a gun, but instead of locking it away, he just puts it in a cabinet and just like, that's it. That's all he does. The kids are playing in a junkyard. Kids are going on a murdering spree. And there's also a clown at a birthday party with a shirt that says, I can't say no. Which is maybe the most ominous part of the whole movie. Why is that clown there? Get him out. Yeah, definitely the 80s were a weird time. So now there's a young girl in the film who's really into astrology. And she finds out that because of the eclipse, the sun and the moon were blocking Venus, no, Saturn, which means that there should be something missing from their personality because Saturn controls your emotions and how you treat people. I don't know if that's correct. I don't know if that has anything to do with anything. I don't know if that's made up. I know nothing about astrology, so if you know, let me know. Is that a thing where people born during an eclipse, people think that they have personality issues? I've never heard that, but anyways, that is essentially the plot of this movie. Some of the killings definitely take place for a reason. For example, they get rid of the sheriff because the deputies in town are just absolutely useless. And they get rid of their teacher because she's annoying. But a lot of the killings are just like wrong place at the wrong time kind of thing, which makes it, I think, for me more believable because these kids don't have a master plan. They're not like, we're planning to do this or anything like that or take over the town or anything. They just don't have empathy or emotions or a conscience. So they just see people and they have a knife and they're like, fuck it. It made it a little bit different, I think, from most movies that have kids as the antagonist. And you're not forced to think that these like 10 or 11-year-olds, however old they are that intelligent. And oftentimes the kills are actually really sloppy. And it's just kind of fun to see like 3 little kids dragging bodies around. But I think it's fun. It's a fun movie. And also their best defense is definitely their innocence because they're a little manipulative, but it's not like The Orphan where you're expected to believe that a little kid is a genius and is planning all of these things. It's a fun little slasher, but definitely not the best movie ever made, you know what I mean? But it is one to just like throw on and have fun with. Like if you had a fun movie night, I think it would be a fun one to watch. Not sure why they started killing people specifically at this time. I don't know if it was implied that maybe there were accidents that had happened around the children their whole lives, and because now they're older they've like have the brain power to like work together, or if they were just like, hey, it's our 10th birthday and we each don't have emotions, so like, let's fuck shit up. I'm not sure. But this one I also gave a 3.5 out of 5. However, I did also love the ending of this one. The ending was really fun. So those were the 4 movies that I watched for my birthday. My least favorite, just because it wasn't my type of genre, was Stitches. And then in the middle tied was actually Happy Birthday to Me and Bloody Birthday. And then my favorite was Alison's Birthday. That movie killed it. Those were the movies that I watched and ranked for my birthday. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have a fun and safe St. Patrick's Day, and I will see you Tuesday and Thursday with another horror video. Let me know what other good movies are out there to watch on birthdays, and I will definitely do one of these next year as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!